It's a great pleasure to welcome you here in Wrocław, a city that has built its position through openness to people, ideas, and innovation. A city that accepts change while never losing sight of the important questions about its consequences. The title of today's panel, Who Governs the City That Governs Itself, may sound provocative. However, anyone responsible for managing a modern city knows that this is no longer a theoretical question. Decisions are increasingly supported by algorithms, processes are becoming automated, and citizens expect public services to be acceptable instantly, intuitively, and digitally. Technology is accelerating, often much faster than regulations, institutions, or even our own ability to adapt. As local government leaders, we find ourselves at the unique moment. On the one hand, we want to use the potential of new technologies to manage our cities more effectively, use public resources more efficiently, and improve the quality of life for our residents. On the other hand, we must remember that the city is not the IT system. A city is, above all, about people, their needs, aspiration, safety, and trust in public institutions. Wrocław is an ideal place for this conversation. It is the city where business, the modern service sector, academia, and public administration come together. Every day, we can observe how technology is transforming the labor market, reshaping organizations, and changing the expectations of new generation of citizens. Wrocław has been learning to navigate transformation for many years, not as a one project, but as a permanent capability. That is why I believe that most important challenge today is not whether we should use algorithms and artificial intelligence. They are already part of our reality. The real question is how to ensure that technological progress strengthens our cities rather than weakens the social bonds, responsibility, and trust that form the foundation on local democracy. I hope today's discussion will help us explore these challenges from different perspectives and identify solutions that are valuable both for business and the public administration. I wish you an inspiring debate, meaningful insights, and a productive exchange of ideas. Thank you. I would like to invite you to join the conversation. Thank you.
We have got quite the conversation, and we've got city versus tech with us today. So I'm expecting you, if there are any questions from the audience, bring it in, because this is a really hot topic. Who governs the city that governs itself? What on earth do you do? How do you lead transformation when algorithms move faster than politics? And we all know how slow political decisions can be. I am very pleased to say that we are joined by Radosław Michalski, Director of the City Brand Department for the city of Wrocław. Radosław, welcome.
Thank you.
We're also joined by Magdalena Majchrzycka, Director of Information Security at Akamai Security Technology Group. And for those of you who need to know a little bit more about this, Akamai, it provides security, it's a global cloud platform. Its network has a presence in 700 cities in 130 countries. So it's a huge, huge player. And we are also joined by Maciej Fijałkowski, Secretary of the City of Warsaw. Panelists, welcome. Who here is from Warsaw? Hands up. Who's from Warsaw? Okay. Big presence. Who is here from Wrocław? Well, in that case, let the Hunger Games begin. Panelists, it's a big question, and let's start with the municipal authorities, because let's start with Wrocław, seeing as we're so lucky to be in your beautiful city. What are you doing? How are you keeping up with AI? I mean, you must obviously be using it. What kind of examples do you have? Where is Wrocław? Where can we see it in this city?
Welcome everyone. I'm really happy that today Wrocław is a capital of thinking about the future and about new technologies. And let me express my great gratitude that ABSL decided to organize this summit in Wrocław. This is important for us because it's an opportunity to learn how to use the new technologies in many aspects of our life. And we are very happy that we have opportunity to share a good experience and a good practice with the practitioners. And thanks of that, I hope that we will be able to move forward with everything. So it's a very interesting fact. Simultaneously to our meeting here in this Temple of Democracy, because when Centennial Hall was building, it was the name of this place. In the City Hall in Wrocław, we have a monthly meeting of the City Council. The councillors discuss about the green areas, about the housing, about the metropolitan area. They have a lot of topics, and I guess they will spend whole day in this chamber when they have the meetings every month. And behind of that, behind of the stage, is everything what is moving a little bit, what we are doing in the city. And I guess that we all understand that the AI and the new technologies are using in the two senses. The first sense is what we are doing in the city. Obviously, we use the new technologies for many, many years, and we recognize them as tools. The tools could be useful, could be absolutely unuseful, could also be used in the absolutely wrong direction, but they should be used and organized. And what we have to understand, and we are trying to understand in Wrocław in this sense, is that behind of the tools, behind of the artificial intelligence, behind of everything what we use as an algorithm in this automatic transport association, when we use like a method to organize the lights in the city or try to fix the traffics during the traffic hours which exist in each city, I guess, not only in Warsaw, not only in Wrocław. Behind of this are staying the people. And the main investment we are talking about AI and about these new technologies are the experts who are our main investment this moment. So if we have even the most sophisticated tool, if we have the newest and the modest idea how to use them, this is nothing if we don't understand who is the operator of the tool and for whom this tool should be used. And this is the main point. The second area where we see the new technologies, especially algorithms, is everything what is moving politics and the decision-making process forward. I don't think only about the social media, but we all understand that when the councillors have the meeting, behind of them are a lot of opinions. And these opinions they can find like an instant karma at the same moment when they are making this decision, and they are thinking and they're seeing it on the social media, not only the Twitter and the others, but they know what people are thinking about it. And the challenge how to fix this algorithm is how to communicate to the citizens, inhabitants of the city in an effective way. And this is something what I recognize today as a very important also from the perspective of the city, how to communicate your decisions and how to do it effectively to give opportunity to the citizens to understand the decision-making process and understand why we are doing what we are doing.
But where are you doing it? Where are you doing it? This is the question that I wanted to have answered. Warsaw, where are you doing it?
Good morning, everyone. I was wondering about your question, who is from Warsaw, and I was afraid that some people may not know. This is the county city in central Poland. So just for those
I think everybody knows.
For those who have doubts, thank you. I will answer to that question, but give me a while because I would like to, based on what was said just a few minutes ago by Marcin, by this Treasury of Wrocław, is the specific role and specific tasks and conditions in which we as a local governments, as a public authority function. Every one of us who works for someone, in fact, has a boss. You may be a CEO, but you have a board of directors. You may be a director, but you have shareholders above you. And we also, as a city authorities, have our shareholders, which are citizens. And the citizen, they, in fact, as the case of Kraków shows, can be very fragile about decision we make and can be also very quickly dissatisfied. So we have to go the narrow path, how to manage the city. And this is what has been said by Marcin. We need to look what the social attitude toward different decision, but also tools is. So we, and I would just tell you a few things more about that, but we started not with tools, but we like it in Europe, but I think it's necessary in this case, but with rules. So in 2024, we started a common project with one of the universities in Warsaw, SWPS, with University of Warsaw also. And the project was how to prepare the rules for ethic use of AI in public administration. And one of the elements was the survey, what people think. So the question, it was 2 years ago, the answer was about 45% of people accepted, let's say, the broad application of AI in municipal services. But if you look in details, sometimes it was 80% who approved. For example, for issues like cleaning, for measuring the quality of air. But in case of granting social security some benefits, it was just 20%. So people clearly distinguish that some things are technicians and we can give it to machine to help us to do it. But in the places where we need empathy, when we need emotions, we shouldn't give it to machines. And is it, maybe we could think that this is something exceptional because we are in Europe, we like to think that we are lagging behind. By the way, yesterday I started to read the memories of Treasury of Warsaw in 30s and 40s. And when he was describing Polish democracy in 20s, he said, well, all in Europe think that we will never be able to be a leader again. It was 100 years ago. That everything is lost, that we have no chances. So it's nothing new. But I'm telling about that because if you look at the US example, right, the country which invented, if any country invented, it would be the United States. So the last surveys shows that about 55% of Americans says that they are afraid of artificial intelligence. And 75%, it's official YouGov survey, says that it's going too quickly. So it's, it's enormous number of people. So we, and I'm going to finish this part of the answer. So we in this project, by measuring it and also by working with specialists, with our administration, we finally decided to make a kind of, let's say, 7 points, 7 golden rules we use in case of artificial intelligence. They are quite obvious. I will read them just to let you to let you know, and it will be the finish of my speech at the moment. But they are very, very obvious. But in fact, if we think about the basic truth in life, they are also very basic. Be honest, don't lie, don't steal. I mean, they're trivial, I would say. And those rules are: generative AI is to support us and not to replace us. We use it, is the second one, for common good. We take a responsibility for what we are, the way we are using generative AI. We are trying and are able to assess the risk and work according to that risk. We are able to secure the data, so there will be no data leaks. We use those tools in the transparent and open way. And finally, we learn how to do it in a responsible way. And this is our, let's say, code of ethics in case of generative AI, and basing on it, we do implement tools.
Very, very diplomatic answer. Thank you very much. I'm not quite sure if I got an actual answer for the question that I posed, but I'll let that go. We're going to press on. So tools, second, rules first. Maciej, thank you very much. Let's just, before we bring Magdalena into this, something that is really frustrating, and seeing that we've got local municipalities with us, building regulations, yeah, planning permission, it takes forever to get. It is frustrating. You hand in documents. Who here, hands up if you've had problems getting some planning permission? Anybody? I mean, I think that's, pretty much. Would you be happy if it sped the process up for it to be purely decided via AI? Hands up if you'd be happy to hand that over? Yeah, okay, a little bit, yeah, okay. So, Magdalena, we've got our municipalities. They're very, very cautious, obviously, because they are answerable to the voters. They're answerable to society. But what are they missing out here? Because ultimately, surely, whatever they're doing, whether it's transport, whether it's traffic lights, whatever, there are potentially third parties that are already using AI. Are these guys aware of it? What should they be looking out for?
This is my question, because AI is present like 20 years ago. No one was thinking that all the system that you can have, like the things that you can manage through, let's call in Polish, e-urząd. So you can place the form there, you can do it, and it's safe, like as long as you have the proper sign it and so on. And it's assumed to be safe, let's put it this way. Right now, AI is all around. And my point is that cities, public sector is getting impacted by the use of AI through the supply chain. So my question to the gentlemen here, to what extent are you monitoring the use of AI of your subcontractors? For example, system managing water treatment, dispatch of this 911 number, and so on, and other, here mentioned the traffic lights management, and so on.
Radosław, right, that's a great question. Third parties, what are you monitoring them? Give us an example of some third parties that potentially are using AI within Wrocław.
We have a similar point like my colleague from Warsaw, that we have some regulations inside of the municipality of Wrocław, and our companies which the city is the owner of the company, and these regulations are telling us what we can use, what we shouldn't use, what we should be more concerned if we are using this kind of methods. And usually when we prepare some projects which should be prepared or regulated or improvement by our third parties, let's say, there are some regulations which should be mentioned in the process, preparing the process, and at the end of the outcome. So for instance, when I'm talking about these traffic lights, and when we are use the algorithm inside, no one will blame algorithm about the mistakes during the traffic lights problems. Behind of the algorithm are sitting the people, and these people are responsible for it, from the political sense and from the government sense, I will say. The political sense is quite obvious for everyone who are sitting here. Also was mentioned the Krakow case. It happens if the mistake is serious and the people recognize it as a mistake, which is very effective for a city. But inside of the municipality, there are also the people who are responsible for the projects. And it doesn't matter if it is AI, it doesn't matter if it's algorithm, it doesn't matter who projects this tool which we use as a city. The most important is how it affects the citizens, inhabitants. And the regulations which we prepared inside of the municipality and these points which we are checking at the end of the projects are telling us how huge impact we still have for this tool. I mean, what we can change, what we can correct during the process, or what is like a part of the engine, we cannot move it. It's like concrete. It's something what we should be created in a completely new way. And I think it's not 100% best solution, but at least it's some rule of regulations, how we see effects of projects and how we understand this usefulness of what we're preparing by ourselves or by these third parties who prepared us.
In terms of, thank you, in terms of the Krakow case, am I right, just for our international audience here, because we've got so many participants in this conference, the Krakow case, am I right in saying that the citizens voted out the Krakow leader because he was bringing in a green zone, a clean air zone, is that right? So it just goes to show that these gentlemen are on the spot, but let's put them on the spot a little bit further. Okay, Maciej, something that you tried to use AI, but it just didn't work in Warsaw. And I mean, when it comes to Warsaw, goodness, the korki there, I was there just a few days ago. I was sitting in traffic jams. And it's not just, you know, tramway as well. I took a tramway because I was so, you know, I didn't want to use Uber. And I was still stuck in a traffic jam. But something that didn't potentially
Where
work.
was it?
In Warsaw.
W Śródmieściu.
We have, it's a time when we make a lot of modernization. It's summertime, so a lot of routes are closed. Yeah, but anyway, I'm very grateful that you used public transportation system, not Uber.
The metro is amazing.
Well, I promised you some examples, so and will be a failure also. Okay, in this, I would divide it into 3 groups. The first one, 2 are positive, the one is negative. The first one are obvious. It's an automation of some processes like reading the data. So for example, in our tax department, we are training a model which is going to gather the tax information, and it's going to be read by machine and then checked by people. This is also because, as I said, at the end of the day, the human, it's also his professional, I mean, he's what you mentioned, his professional responsibility. Yeah, sorry. And there are some laws and punishment if it does something wrong. So the automation of some data processing. The second one are chatbots. So we have one of the eldest in Europe, one of the first systems, so-called 19115. So you can, if you want to fix something in the city, you want to complain, you want to know something, you just can use an app or a website or call, whatever. So this year in January or in February, we started the chat box, which is very popular. It's about 10,000 users and questions per month, just at the beginning. And he answers in a responsible way, so he doesn't hallucinate. And this is an important issue. In contrary to private sector, the hit of answer is very low. So if the machine doesn't know what to answer, the question is I don't know, and does not hallucinate. So we rather diminish the risk to the minimum and saying I don't know, and preferring to the machine that it says I don't know, than to give a false answer, because we as a public authority are responsible for being. I mean, the public, we are a publicity trust entity. Yeah?
And this is a health chatbot. It's a mental health awareness.
And is mental health, which is in the final test phrase. So if you have any mental problems, you need a psychiatrist. And there will be a dedicated chat box, which will, basing on proven data and contacts, will try to help you and to show you how to do it in a proper way, of course, by directing to the medicines, to the psychiatrist or psychologist. So it's going specifically for people with mental problems. And there is a third group, which are failed projects. And for example, we try to find a solution how to, in case of transportation, how to improve our network of buses mainly and tramways. Doesn't work. I mean, it's completely crazy. I mean, the outcomes are dissatisfied. I mean, we are absolutely dissatisfied. The machine doesn't know how to do it well. So, if you have an idea how to solve it, let me know, because we are still looking for a good tool.
That is fascinating. Why do you think it doesn't work?
I don't know. Why does it have so many problems with numbers? because it's a probabilistic
So it's the
system.
bus timetable. You tried to get
No, network, and of course everything which is going to be next step. So the timesheets and so on, but it doesn't know how to do it. The companies which in theoretically they are professionals in case of this logistic work, and they don't know how to provide a solution.
Magdalena, why can't they do it?
Maybe that was the wrong model. Maybe you need some support of the external support.
It was with external help.
Not with us. I want to ask slightly different. We were talking about the AI usage, and I see some kind of resistance or maybe very careful approach in applying AI. But I think it's, to some extent, it's not only the question whether you would like or not, because the same force that makes the algorithm governance possible is the same force that it's make it dangerous. Because public sector was always on a target of the advisors, of the bad guys, let's put it this way. So bad guys right now are using AI. So what city or cities are doing in order to prevent the attack that are generated with the use of AI?
That is an excellent question, and I'm going to get Radosław to have a think about it. While you're thinking about it, it's obviously, even in the UK, the NHS has had data breaches. Ransomware is something that we're really aware of. So what are you doing in order to protect your citizens?
Happy to hear at least once that we are these good guys. So yeah, in this case, this is a very good question indeed. I mean, the artificial intelligence, these all tools which we have in the social media and the internet are changing very fastly, and they are changing also the approach of the citizens. I was talking at the beginning of our meeting that sometimes this political change is happening because sometimes someone used the algorithm in the social media and creating the huge drama from the very small cases and knows how to play with the emotion and knows how to play with the people. And at the end, we have completely different output, which we suppose that will be at the end of the day. What we can do, it's building the trust between the citizens. We have some experience from this time in 2024, 2 years ago, in September. The Lower Silesia region and Wrocław had a huge problem with the high water. Most probably you know the story. Fortunately for us, city of Wrocław was safe at the end of the day. Lower Silesia has less luck, and we still support some of the small local governments which are trying to fix the problems after this huge water and problem with flood. And that moment, it was very significant for us because we observed two issues. The first one was natural human panic. So for instance, if someone make a photo in this very sensitive place, and as you know with the photo of the mobile phones, sometimes you see just the 1 meter to 1 meter square, not the full picture what is going in this area. And sometimes we have to have a special team who was working for a day and night on these official profiles of the city, just to convince people that how the situation is going on, how we provide the security services, what is going with the special area of Wrocław, which had a bad experience from 1997 when the city was deeply touched by water. The second area was that we were deeply tested by the bad guys, indeed. It was like a propaganda, it was like checking the city services, how that works. It was like a creating panic because we know that we're still on the hybrid war, even if we are quite far from this Polish-Ukraine border. This happens also in our city, in our country. But what we have as a good experience is, and this is something behind of the new technologies, by the way, is a building trust between people and between the local government. This building trust is like a long-term process. Actually, this process is happening all the time, even now, when the councillors have a meeting and they create the local law, the local regulation for the citizens. And if we have this trust between the citizens and between the governors and the people who are responsible for some area of the city, it's giving us opportunity at least to give this official statement which is understood by the people. And in the sense how to shape the citizens, how to dysregulate the cities, the only answer which we are able to give is that this is like people from the side, this good side, as you mentioned, is a mainstay on this line, who are able to say something which is understandable and really taking as a trust from the people who are hearing it.
Because that's the question, isn't it? Trust and accountability. Magdalena, you want to come in?
But will trust and then accountability help if you are getting attacked?
That's a really good question, Maciej.
So we try to prevent. Our guys from IT, cybersecurity team, they say more concrete. So securing. So we are the city. Our mayor last year was starting as a candidate for a president of the country. We had tons of attacks during that year. So for 9 or 10 months of campaign, it was normally issue that we were attacked from different sides, and of course we know from which side. But sometimes they were they were not so obvious. Those countries from the attacks, at least theoretically, because we know that we can use VPN, so it's not that clear. But we try to. The only thing we can do is to protect, and so far we had a good luck and a lot of work.
A lot of work. Magdalena, without doing a sales pitch for your company, how should these guys be trying to protect themselves?
That is a slightly different approach that I believe right now is a trend in the cybersecurity. Earlier, the traditional cybersecurity was saying build the wall as high as possible to prevent the attack. That's the old school. Right now, with deployment of the AI, the approach is slightly different. Okay, you have your wall, that's important. That's like, say, it's a prerequisite. But you need to focus on a contain phase. So what you do when you are getting attacked, whether you have the micro-segmentation solution, we also have one, quite good one, but it's not the advertisement.
She can't help herself, can she? Bless you.
Yes, but that is slightly different because right now in the overall cybersecurity, it's a time to detect, time to react, time to contain, and so on. So that's why what I'm just saying that cities or the public sector needs to partner with the private sector.
Radosław, are you comfortable to do that? I mean, in the sense that, are there any areas that you wouldn't do that in?
You mean there are areas where we will never give the access to the private sector?
Yeah.
I don't suppose. We have to understand that each city, I don't think that only the city of Wrocław, is like a cooperation between governors, city councillors, the mayor, people who are working as officials, citizens and the companies who work in the city. And if we close an area for the partners, it means that we are losing something very important, at least the opportunity to learn something. These days, when we have this congress in Wrocław, is a huge opportunity for us, not only on the stage, but especially behind the stage, to discuss about the important projects and important issues. If we abandon this area, it simply means that we lost opportunity to learn and we lost opportunity to grow together in this case. So I really believe that in each area of the city is a space for citizens and for local companies and for corporations which are giving us the appropriate tools to manage the city. The responsibility is the same in each of these levels. I mean, the responsibility is on the official side of the city, of municipality, of the councillors, of the mayor. And this responsibility is giving us the chance to recognize, at least who is trustful, how we can cooperate. We are able to use the state tools like the secret services and ask the officials with whom we are able to cooperate, don't lose something important and don't giving the space for someone who is not trustworthy to do these issues.
Can I so am I understanding that before I may have misunderstood this and apologies for this, but so what you're saying, you use the secret services in order to check out third parties before approaching them?
Not all of them, indeed, but if this is something very significant, let's say our water supply, it's quite obvious that we ask our partners from the government, the central government, to take the umbrella above the whole process and checking everyone, not the specific person, because it would be something illegal, which we understand all us, we are sitting here. But this is something very significant. We ask for this umbrella for all. And this is the way of being responsible for a city, because the tool as a local municipality has not all of these things in the hand, how to use in the proper way.
It's fascinating. Maciej, same question to you then in that case. Are there any areas that you just, I mean, apart from the bus network, are there any areas that you wouldn't ethically hand over to a third party, despite it being checked out by the federal government?
No, it needs to be a reason to do this. I mean, to exclude someone. So sometimes we also ask if we had serious problems, like, you know, there is an embargo for fossil fuels, and there were some concerns. We, for example, we used, let's say, the unofficial, I mean, official, but specific for administration, so cooperating with central government. I would like to comment on those cooperation, but from the other side. So, because we are probably indispensable, but not the only actor. We are just, you know, the playfield for all partners who live in the city, who are in the city, and we are also very active in supporting our companies, but on the other side. So there is a rule that small companies, especially in tech fields, very often they are some kind subsidized or helped by public sector. And we, for example, have the longest in Central Eastern Europe program called Warsaw Booster, where we boost the companies. We have started it 12 or 13 years ago, so it's a long story. But we have hundreds of companies that we supported with mentoring, with financing, with, I don't know, tickets for international fair, which are in area that is important to the companies. But also, and this is something which is less obvious, for using a city as a lab, because we are a living lab. So we have companies in health sector, which use data from our hospitals and train the models, also in field of AI. We have companies that helps us with autonomous driving in buses or tramways. We have companies that are supported and are trained on our municipal infrastructure, for example, the quality of water, also based on AI solutions. So they just put the sensors in two of our lakes, and they monitor it online. So we do a lot of different things. For those companies, it's a great opportunity to train in a huge scale their product, to make it better and to offer to other customers.
Magdalena, I'm going to come to you in just a moment, but I just want to get a feel from the audience. Are you sensing, hands up, if you feel that these local municipalities, and not just picking out on Wrocław and Warsaw, but are they getting that balance right? Do you feel comfortable with how much local municipalities in general are handing over to AI and third parties? Are they getting it right? Hands up if you think they are. We can't see you. The lights are really bright, so don't feel... Okay, so that's, I'd say, a quarter of you think they're getting it right. That means that, well, it's okay, we don't want to name and shame, hun, turn the lights back off. That means that there are let's do the maths, 3/4 that think you're not getting it right. Magda, how are they going to get this right? What should they be doing?
First of all, I want to tackle it slightly different. I believe that all the regulation that right now are being issued in overall European Union, not only European Union, are emphasizing the reliance on third parties, the reliance on the critical service providers. So for me, the public sector needs to partner with the private sector. This is the only way how they can get the scale that the private sector is having, both as it comes about the knowledge, talents, even the network. My company is the company that powers and protects lives online. We manage like 1/3 of the internet traffic, also malicious traffic. But we have the knowledge and the tools how to support the cities and the public sector.
And in true BBC fashion, I'm going to say other companies are available. Can I have a big round of applause? Because this is quite an intense conversation, and you did so well just to talk us through quite difficult topics, and they're very emotive topics, and we get that from the sense from the audience there. A big round of applause for my guests, Magdalena, Maciej, and Radosław. Thank you so much. Thank you. Still a lot of work to do, but rules before tools. Thank you so much. And thank you.